everybody out there? Juan Brown, LMT, the People's Fitness Professional, aka Soul Brother #1, reporting for duty. We got the brother Kevin, our minister, Kevin Ali, in the building with us to speak upon UFOs. What the Nation of Islam says about UFOs will surprise you. That is the title today. First off, before we go into it, brother Kevin Ali, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, brother Ron.
How you doing?
LMT, the fitness professional. I'm doing fine by the grace of Almighty God Allah, in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, thanking him for his messenger, the humble and the honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Looks like you got a 10. You've been outside, huh?
I tanned fast, brother, with that, with the sunroof open and with the bright Carolina clear blue sky we've been having. Yeah, I tanned quick. I don't know what to say. I get it's that melanin.
Oh, indeed. Looks like your daughter just graduated, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you gotta that those videos, man. You gotta take that show on the road. That's a good combination right there.
Don't you have daughters?
Yes, sir.
You'll be experiencing it very soon.
Yeah, one of my daughters graduated high school some time ago, so now she's in college. She's working hard right now. So let's go into it, brother. You look sharp. What kind of uniform would that be? That wouldn't be considered a uniform. What would that be considered?
Well, yes, it is. It is a uniform. What is normal for the FOI to wear is called the Class A uniform. That is white shirt, suit, conservative color, tie, preferably bow tie for security purposes, but you can wear a straight tie, although it can be used as a weapon against you in the case of a scrap. Somebody can grab you by the tie and use it against yourself. And FOI pin, or Nation of Islam pin, a button to wear on the lapel of your coat. By presenting the 4 devil's heads at one time, your reward is a button to wear on the lapel of your coat and free transportation to the holy city Mecca to see brother Muhammad. That doesn't mean 4 devil's heads. That means 4 heads of our people that are filled with the devil's mentality.
Right.
And we kill that mentality in their heads. When you bring them, once you bring 4 at one time, then you earn your button. That's the proper way to earn the button. Most have not earned it properly. Or I won't say most. A great number have not earned it properly.
Right.
Your brother has.
Gotcha.
But yeah, other than that, brother, it's just a suit. As a matter of fact, this suit I'm wearing here is over 20 years old. I haven't had to tailor it or nothing. Yeah, you want a classic design suit. You don't want those zoot suits or anything like that. And something of a conservative color: gray, black, brown, tan. Something of a single. It can be a slight pinstripe or whatever. But these checkerboard suits but that's not our subject today. But we'll go into that at another time.
Indeed. So, I want to get into it. The first question I have for you is, what did the messenger teach in reference to UFOs? Me and the brother Eric Muhammad spoke about this on a podcast probably about a year or so ago. We spoke, about this, had a little discussion about it, or podcast on it. How do you see it, as far as what was taught about UFOs?
Well, I don't see it any particular way, brother. I do my best to keep myself out of it and to stick to what we have been taught and what we can verify from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And yes, Messenger Muhammad has taught us of what these UFOs, or what the Caucasians call the unidentified flying objects. He's been teaching us of this since the 1930s. Let me first start off by saying what it not is. This is a portion of our teaching that many people who claim to be followers of the messenger kind of shy away from really delving into and teaching. They're afraid to teach it. One of the reasons that they're afraid to teach it is they don't quite believe it. Another reason is so many people have actually corrupted it. We got so many people out here calling themselves the Messiah, calling themselves the Son of Man, calling themselves the Mahdi, calling themselves the Jesus in our midst. All of those things are false, and all of those things are confusing to the people. You got other people who have said that they have, been beamed up to the mother plane, beamed up to the ship, been taken up there in a vision. None of these things were taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So that actually makes a very difficult subject to teach even more difficult. But I thought it was a timely subject to open up and delve back into when we spoke the other day, because as you may or may not know, on Friday, the Trump administration released a trove of previously classified files and released them to the public. And you can actually go and begin to view those files. He said he's going to be, and here's what President Trump said. He said, based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAP, and unidentified flying objects, UFOs, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America. And you can go find that on the website war.gov/UFO. And they're going to start releasing this. There has been a system of disinformation as well as information. And even this dump here is going to be full of disinformation. So that's why I thought it would be important to go over what the messenger taught about these things. And I just wanted to have that as a prelude and as a backdrop.
Okay.
But did I begin to start answering your first question? Or did I?
Yes. Yes.
Well, Messenger Muhammad teaches us that these flying objects are not unidentified. He, in fact, identified them in the 30s. He said that these unidentified flying objects are actually planes or wheels or crafts that were built in 1929. The largest of which he called and taught us is called the mothership, or the mother of planes. The other ones that he taught us of are the 1500 bombing or baby planes, which are housed in the mother of planes, kind of like a aircraft carrier, except not on sea, but an aircraft carrier that floats in air. He said these are the destructive weapons which were prophesied in the Bible, in the chapter or in the book of the Bible called Ezekiel, under the prophecy of Ezekiel's wheel. I even remember growing up as a child in the church that there was a hymn that was sang called Ezekiel's Wheel. And it kind of went something like this. I'm not the greatest singer, but Ezekiel saw the wheel way up in the middle of the air. Ezekiel saw the wheel up in the middle of the air. Now, why were we singing that in the church? The first religious leader to explain what that wheel was, or what that vision was that Ezekiel saw in the Bible, was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he described it in great detail, even down to the dimensions of it, the tactical capabilities of it. A lot of people say that, well, it was just allegory. It was just symbolism. It really wasn't something real in reality. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that Master Farad Muhammad pointed to him to this wheel and showed it to him in actuality. Not in a vision, not in a dream. He actually pointed to it physically and showed him where it was. And back in the 60s and 70s, the messenger would write and teach that you can see the wheel twice a week. That is no secret. That it used to park, and the believers during that time could point to where it was in the sky. And it wasn't a star, because sometimes it would be there and sometimes it would not. The only type of device that does not have a regular orbit is a human-built device. And that's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the mother of planes and these 1500 baby planes were. They were human-built devices built on the island of Nippon, or what we today call Japan, by the four major scientist colors of the black race: the black, the brown, the red, and the yellow. I'm trying not to turn this into a lecture, because I can lecture on this real hard.
So now you said it was built on in Japan, and where?
Well, at that time, the island in Japan is a series of islands. The main island of Japan is called Nippon. Nippon. Okay. But that's Japan. That's Japan, basically.
And the four scientists were who exactly?
The four major colors of the Earth scientists worked on this project. I never heard the messenger say how many scientists there were, but I'm saying black, brown, red, and yellow scientists worked on this project.
Okay.
It was a project very similar to, they didn't know what they were building, which anybody who knows anything about military classified projects knows that the true outcome of any classified project, only a few select know what the project is up until almost the very time that the project is complete. In fact, that's how Elon Musk did his project with his spacecraft. Only a select group of people knew what the project was, although different parts of the project were being farmed out around the country and around the world, and only a few people were involved in the final assembly of Elon Musk's project. That's how they kept it a secret. Next thing you know, people are like, "What? Elon Musk is going into space?" Well, he started developing this project 10, 15, 20, 25 years earlier. And the messenger teaches us that these were the four major groups of scientists from the black nations who worked on this project.
All right. So we have some questions in the chat. We got a question and got a statement. I want to just let your brothers and sisters know, super chat is open. We do have super chat. If you don't mind, we would definitely appreciate any donations given to the podcast, because we're building this podcast up. As you can see, we have a studio we would like to frequent every month, and you guys will help us make that possible. So.
And let me say this, Brother Ron, because I'm also live on my channel. For those of you who are live on R. Kevin Ali, look for NYP Talk on YouTube so that you can hear the whole conversation. Go like, subscribe, and tune in to NYP Talk right now. You can see the whole conversation with the host, Ron Brown, right now. Those of you who are looking at my live broadcast.
All right, so we got a brother, let's shop 2205. Brother Kevin Ali, are the survivors of those who worked on the mother wheel?
I'm not understanding the question. Repeat that again.
Survivors of, salute to you, brother, too. The survivors of those who worked on the mother wheel. I don't know. Could you clarify this question here?
Yeah, ask him to clarify. Now, if I'm, let me try to answer what I think he's asking. I think he's asking, is the mother wheel, are there people who are going to survive on the mother wheel? If that's what he's asking. If not, tell him to re-clarify the question. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that the mother wheel and the baby planes that are part of the mother wheel were constructed for the purpose of destroying this present world. Each plane, each of the 1,500 baby planes or bombing planes have 3 tactical devices on it, 3 bombs that are designed to target a major city in America, in the Caucasian world. And each bomb is designed to drill into the ground, and it does not explode until it reaches a particular depth. Once it reaches that particular depth, whether it's a half a mile or a mile, when the explosion occurs, it will raise a mountain that high. However deep it dug, that's how high the mountain will be raised when the bomb explodes. And it will destroy everything in a 50-mile radius. Messenger Muhammad teaches us that this plane is not the first time that this plane has been put into work. Previously, during the early part formation of the earth, a plane similar to it was built, and that is how the mountains were placed on the earth, by dropping these bombs to raise up the mountains on the earth. So this is not the first time this type of tactical or strategic device was put into action. This is a new design, a new plane, but it was used previously trillions of years ago, a similar design. And the Messenger Muhammad teaches us that 8 to 10 days prior to this destruction that is coming, because of what the Caucasian people have done to our people here in America, 8 to 10 days prior, leaflets will be dropped in English and in Arabic, instructing the righteous what to do and instructing the wicked what to do. That every nation must return to its own. So if you're an Italian American, if you're an Irish American, if you're a Russian American, that leaflet is telling you you got to go back to your own. And the black nation must return to its own, instructing us, and in those leaflets will be instructions on where for us the righteous are to go. And he teaches us that angels will be on every corner handing out these leaflets also and giving further instructions. But these leaflets will be dropped from the plane. And you have seen this in many of the iconography of quote unquote UFO movies, where leaflets were dropped prior to the invasion. Where did they get this from? there was no invasion of leaflets prior to 1929. And Messenger Muhammad teaches us that this completion of the plane and the taking off of it in 1929 is what caused the stock market crash. Stock markets don't crash just because they want to crash. What happened was the Caucasian people saw this plane and heard that the plane took off, and some of their scientists knew of the prophecy because they read the Bible too, and they began liquidating their assets to try and prepare themselves for the coming destruction. And that's what caused the stock market crash in 1929.
All right. Now, to clarify, the brother said, if it took $15 billion of gold was that steep, then there should be survivors of those who worked on it.
If there are survivors of those who worked on the plane, I have no idea who they are. I know of nothing where the messenger taught of that. And I believe the brother is correct. I believe it was a cost of $15 billion in gold at that time. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's what the messenger said.
All right. Now, brothers, Ian Muhammad said, under Minister Farrakhan, we go further. We say the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is alive on the great mother wheel.
Again, I'm going to stick to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches. I've never heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach that he was going to be on the wheel. I never heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach that our Savior, Master Farad Muhammad, was going to be on the wheel. When the messenger was questioned of the whereabouts of Master Farad Muhammad, he said he is where he is. He did tell us that there are black scientists on those wheels. He did tell us that on those 1,500 baby or bombing planes, there are pilots, one pilot for each of those 1,500 planes, and that they have been training for their mission and training for their particular target run since they were 6 years old. See, this is part of the confusion that has been placed out there. People start talking about visions on mountains and being beamed up in wheels and saying that things are on the plane that the messenger did. This only further adds to confusion of what is already a very confusing subject. Can you imagine, Brother Ron, the messenger teaching this in 1930? We had no knowledge of this. The government wasn't putting out files then. But now we have a documentary. The latest documentary is called, let me get it straight. It's called The Age of Disclosure. I first learned of this documentary from the Bill Maher show. And prior to the documentary, all we heard about were people being kidnapped, people being abducted, anal probes, and all kinds of disinformation about it. But and it would always be somebody in a mountain town or a remote country town. It would never be anybody credible. But in this documentary, brother, they are talking to Pentagon officials, Department of Defense officials, senators, Navy, Air Force pilots, people who are trained in identifying and looking at phenomenon, and they're showing footage of it, of what they're seeing. Now, some of this footage is disinformation, but some of the footage is also information about the tactical capabilities of the plane. I'm not sure how much you know about the Caucasians Air Force, but when their planes are under attack, their planes can shoot off what are called countermeasures. Those countermeasures can be like fire to, to evade the heat-seeking missiles, or those countermeasures can be devices which confuse the radar. Well, if the Caucasian has this, and he's only 6,000 years old, what more does the black nation have? So the mother of planes and the baby planes are able to confuse the defensive and offensive capabilities of the Caucasian. They can send false signals. They can move from here to there. They can give a projection that they're over here, but they're really not here. They're over there. There are all types of things that this device can do that not the messenger. Now, this is the Caucasian is documenting. Now, I say that because a lot of us don't want to believe anything until he says it's true. And I'm telling you now, he's saying it's true. His first attempt at disinformation was to say nothing, pretend it didn't exist. There was no sightings of UFOs prior to 1930. The most famous sighting that they heard was in the 1930s. A Canadian newspaper saw the wheel, and it was in 1934, and they called it a Mirage City. And it was a sighting over the Abitibi region in northern Ontario, Quebec. The people who saw it said that it looked like a city coming down out of heaven. And if you look in the Bible in Revelation said, and I saw what? A new Jerusalem coming down out of heaven. Well, what is Jerusalem? It's a city founded in peace. But this one is not in the Middle East. This one is coming down out of heaven. And ever since then, they wondered, well, what are we going to do about this? So they started just discounting, ignoring it. But around about the 50s, they began using one of their propaganda arms to sway the thinking of the public, and that's Hollywood. And that's when you saw what, Brother Ron? You saw all these movies about UFOs coming out in the 50s. The Day the Earth Stood Still, all types of movies about flying saucers. And then they were people coming out of flying saucers. But then they later turned the narrative to little green men. Later on in the 70s, you had Close Encounters of the Third Kind with Steven Spielberg, who, by the way, has been one of the chief architects of the Hollywood disinformation campaign. His latest...
I would like to interject.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
First, thank you, brother, for the $20. Really appreciate it. You know, at NYP, that's going to go right back into the NYP pot for us to do this in-person studio. So, you know, all donations are appreciated. His brother says, salute to this page. This is true disclosure. Now, I want to say that, see, this is why I'm confused about the whole UFO thing, right? Now, me personally, I'm a skeptic about everything. So I don't believe in astrology, really, honestly, I don't. UFOs is on that list. So, and one of the reasons is because the way it was kind of presented to me since a youngster. So now I am definitely open to seeing it in a different way. I just want to state that.
Well, then I would suggest, brother, that the best source for this, if you have a message to the black man, go right to page 290 of Message to the Black Man. There's 3 chapters right on the mother of planes. Battle in the Sky is Near, the Great Decisive Battle in the Sky, and the Battle in the Sky. That's right in Message to the Black Man. The other place where there are first source writings from the messenger about this are right in, it's a compilation book called The Mother Plane, which is published by Secretaries Memphis Publications. And in it, he references those articles and several other articles direct from the Muhammad Speaks. So I always approached it like this, brother. I don't say I don't believe what the messenger says, or don't believe. If the messenger says it, I believe it. I may not understand it. Please bless me with understanding. Bless me with confirmation. I never saw the mother plane. Personally, I saw it about in 2017. Well, excuse me. I'm not sure if it was the mother plane or one of the baby planes, but I saw it in 2017 at the eclipse. 30 or 40 or 50 other people saw it with me as well. But I believe what the messenger said. I don't believe that it's allegory. I don't believe that it's esoteric. He wouldn't describe things like its tactical ability. He said it can fly 9,000 miles per hour. He said that it can enter into the Earth's atmosphere and stay out of the Earth's atmosphere for up to a year at a time. He said that when it comes into the Earth's atmosphere, it puts down a tube that can draw up hydrogen and oxygen into it to keep it going and fueled for another 6 months to a year. Those are all very specific descriptions. He said that it's a half a mile through and it's a half a mile straight across. Now, usually in the white man's movies, he has it looking more like a dish or a saucer. But by that description of a half a mile straight through and a half a mile across, that actually looks more like a walnut than it does a saucer. And I got to find, and maybe by next time I'll find this article that Muhammad Speaks. He actually drew there was a detailed description that a brother drew of this plane that brother had in a vision back during I think it was in 73 in the Muhammad Speaks, where he drew it in great detail. And these articles that are referenced in this book, The Mother Plane, are from September of 73 through about August of 73, where the messenger went into great detail on the plane. So yeah, I definitely understand that mentality. But again, the question we have is, did the messenger teach it and why did he teach it?
Right, exactly. That's a great question. So thank you for that, because I'm going to go into a message to the black man to take a look at that. Now, John Thomas said the Hindu religion and their scriptures of the Vedas go more deeply into the ships concerning construction and their nature. All right,
now. I'm not aware of any of those particular teachings, but again, our Savior is a world traveler. He went to the four corners of the world, touching all the people during his time of quote unquote searching for us, dropping knowledge on those people. So yes, a lot of other cultures do talk about these particular planes. Even if you look in the Bible, the messenger even goes into the Bible. He goes into great detail. Do you have those Bible verses, brother?
Okay, I have one. Remember, I had this one.
Yeah, he goes into great detail of those Bible verses. Starting there in I believe that's the first chapter of Ezekiel, chapter 10. He talks about it. He talks about in Ezekiel, they talk about four faces that a creature has that Ezekiel saw in his vision, having the face of an eagle, a lion, and an ox. The messenger teaches us that these faces are symbolic. The lion represents the black man, the fierceness of the black man when fear is removed from him. He teaches us that the eagle represents flight. And he teaches us that the ox represents the true strength of the black man. And of course, the fourth face is a human face, meaning that this represents a human being. This is all symbolism. He teaches us that in chapter 11, he teaches us that it gives the description of wings. Two wings of everyone were joined, one to another. He said these wings represent planes. In the 12th chapter, he says, and they went everyone straight forward. Whither the spirit was to go, they went, and they turned not when they went. This meant that the creatures were given certain orders, and they did not disobey the orders that they were given. I was in the Air Force, and there are strategic battle plans in place for different scenarios with the American military. And pilots train for those specific scenarios. In other words, what targets they're going to hit. They don't train they have general training, but then they go into target specific or theater specific training, and then they practice those training runs. Do you remember the movie Top Gun?
Yes, sir.
Okay, they went through, of course, their basic pilot training. Then they went to advanced training. Then they went to Miramar for advanced training. And then they practiced that target run they were supposed to make. They practiced it over and over and over and over again in simulation. Master Muhammad, well, the Black Nation is no different. Master Muhammad teaches us that the pilots had been training this way to hit one specific target, each one of them, since they were 6 years old. Again, that's a very specific description of what is going on. That doesn't sound esoteric or symbolic to me, that pilots have been training for a specific target, especially for those of us who have been in the military. We know military trains for operational objectives.
Okay. All right. Now, brother Leshop, I have been studying this since 1985. I've served under Brother Wahid Muhammad, East St. Louis, 28B. I guess it's in Muhammad's Mosque 28B. That's peace, brother. Thank you for the $10. Really appreciate you. So now, as far as the whole idea of how these, what you want to call creatures look, how Hollywood gave us this imagery, how are these creatures explained by the messenger, or if any?
Well, the messenger explains it very simply. He says they're not creatures, they're not little green men. They don't come from outer space. They come from this space. They come from this planet. They are our people, original Black people. The Bible calls them angels, but the messenger teaches us that angel is nothing more. What? What'd I say? That's what he said.
Conversation. I'm going to tell you why.
The Bible calls them angels, but the messenger teaches us that angels are human beings. They're not strange creatures white creatures with a robe and wings and plucking harps. They're original Black men who were born of a man and born of a woman, and who were raised a particular way and trained a particular way to perform a particular duty. We don't know who they are. Have you ever heard the saying that be careful how you receive strangers? You might be entertaining an angel. We don't know who they are. We could be sitting next to one at the coffee shop. We don't know.
Okay. The reason why I think this is interesting because someone that I'm really close to is pretty much like an occult master, if you will, right? And he talks about, I'm going to give it the lack of a better term, angel, right? Or deities or what have you. So he makes mention of this. Of course, I don't believe it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just like a skeptic or whatever, right? But the way he explains it, it's a liking to the way you're explaining these people. Only difference is they're not born of a man and a woman. They're like more energetic beings, if you will.
Well, the messenger teaches us that the human being is nowhere near of what the human being should be, the ones that the normal men we see every day. He even teaches us that Master Farad Muhammad is described as an angel in the scriptures. You ever hear the scripture of Baal and the donkey, and the rider of the donkey seeing an angel in his path and then recognizing that angel was in fact God? The messenger teaches us that angel is Master Farad Muhammad. And that donkey is the Black nation in general. And the rider of that donkey who recognized the angel is himself. So angel is a very broad term for divine human beings, especially prepared for Muslims. That is what we are all supposed to become.
So the idea of Area 51, all right, do you know anything about that? And does it have any correlation to what the messenger taught?
Other than it being part of their information / disinformation campaign, of course, you know, have you seen in many of the movies and iconography that they will say that Area 51 that they have a, you know, one that crashed, and they've got the remains of an alien there. They've got alien technology there. The messenger said they're not smart enough to attack this plane. They're not smart enough to defeat this plane. Although they're trying, he said that's why they went to the moon. They wanted to go to the moon to set up a base, set up a way station where they can get a shot at the mother plane. Well, they did that 50 something years ago. Why are they trying to go back now? Why are they trying to release all these classified, so they say, previously classified documents? Remember, there's in classified documents, there's truth in classified documents. There's also falsehood and outright lies that are contained in classified documents. So you and I kind of need a secret decoder ring to figure out what in the classified releases is actual and what is, for lack of a better term, garbage. But yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Area 51 other than what you may know about Area 51. That they say that they have a crashed alien craft there. I don't believe they have a crashed alien craft there, but I believe they're doing some classified experiments. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do.
Now, in reference to what the messenger taught, what's the purpose of the mother plane and these angels, if you will?
Again, the purpose of this plane is for the destruction of this present world. See, we under the guidance and teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad are the only people on the planet, the only religious people on the planet, the only religious people in America, the only black group in America who preaches a doom for this man who has committed this atrocity against us and continues to commit this atrocity. I don't care about your identification cards. I don't care about your documents. I don't care about your theology. I don't care about your esoterics. I don't care about your beliefs. What are you going to do about this man who has still got his foot on the neck of the world and has not paid for his crime against black humanity? We are the only ones who everybody else is preaching I don't know what they're preaching. They're preaching a doctrine of we're just going to get along with him forever and he's going to change his ways. That don't look like he is never going to allow us to live in peace. He has proven to be absolutely disagreeable in peace. The holy scientists of Islam have said such. Therefore, he must be destroyed. And that's the purpose for which it was built. It was built as a weapon to destroy him. First, he's being weakened by the forces of nature. But disbelieving people can say, well, those are just the forces. That's just Mother Nature doing those things. Okay, maybe you can say it's just Mother Nature. But when you say a bomb drop on a major city in America and level it, you won't be able to say that that's a force of nature. There must be a demonstration and a recompense for what this man has done to our people. And his refusal, because of his refusal to do right by us. He could have avoided this, the messenger teaches us, had he just done right by us. How do you do right by us? Give us a couple of these states. Give us some land, a territory of our own, so that we can go and build for ourselves. Not a couple of acres. We're talking about a couple of states. And state is nothing more than a synonym for country. Where we can go and don't keep us here as a permanent second-class citizen. Let us go. We believe that you should supply our needs for 25 to 30 years, just like you supplying the needs of Israel, just like you rebuilt Germany, just like you rebuilt Japan, and you're still supplying their needs. And then if we can't go for ourselves after that, the messenger says, then America, you can bring your planes and fly over us and drop them all on us and kill us all if we can't go for ourselves after that. That's from the messenger. But since he's not doing that, okay, well, here's the weapon. Here's your punishment. And it's coming. That's why he's releasing these files.
Brother Les Shop, thank you again, brother. Brother Ron Brown, this is the truth. I met one of these angels in 1991. He knew everything about my past, present, and future life. All right, that's peace, brother. I've never met anything but other people, brother. I never met anything but other people, and the only plane I know is the plane I get in to fly to the next state or the next country. Now, I am going to do the knowledge and message to the black man as instructed earlier in the podcast. Now, mother plane. Okay. So now we spoke about the purpose. Now, you said the purpose is to destroy the current reality as we live in right now, right? But what about did these planes exist? How long? For how long did they exist? Because if they just been created to destroy the reality as we know it, before this reality as we know it existed, like before 1492 and all that, where were these mother planes and all that?
Again, it was built in 1929.
Built in 1929.
Yeah, it was built in 1929. Well, excuse me, it was completed in 1929. I forget how long he said it took to build. It wasn't a long time. It wasn't hundreds of years. It was a relatively short amount of time. I can't remember the exact amount of time. It was completed in 1929 and it took off in 1929. The messenger teaches us that the designer of this craft and those crafts is Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. So he wasn't born until 1877.
Gotcha.
Now, to go back to your question, it is a similar design to a similar plane or planes that were used back when the mountains were raised in the early part of the earth, trillions and trillions of years ago.
It's a similar design.
Similar design, the messenger teaches us. But not the same plane.
Right. And now, could these planes be? I think that with human imagination and the innovation of arts and crafts and technology with the internet and things, we take our imagination and we're able to put it on a canvas or a piece of paper or now on a screen. But would these planes look like how the planes look, like, for instance, on a thumbnail? Or would it be a sphere of energy, maybe? Like a beam?
I can't find any details on what the material is made out of. He said it's made of the toughest of steel. What do they look like close up? I've never seen one close up to even tell you what it looks like close up. What I saw was so far away, it was a dot in the sky. But I knew what it was when I saw it.
Right. And I have a friend. He always sends me things because he knows I'm a UFO skeptic. So he's like, what about this? What about, because he claims that he saw something like this like years ago. So he sends me all of these things. And I always say, what about if it's some military machine that we know nothing about and we're just behind and this technology is far advanced?
That's, of course, that is a possibility. And that's one of the narratives that they have been putting forth until very recently. Now they have said in this disclosure, Age of Disclosure documentary, they asked, well, is it technology from China? And the experts say, no, they don't have it. It's not ours. No, China doesn't have this either. Russia doesn't have this. And I forgot the other nation that they proposed might be, but they said, no, it's not. They said it's another nation. They kept saying it's another nation. You have to read between the lines with the Caucasian people. They're very clever in hiding stuff from us right in plain sight. And if you don't have the decoder ring of the messenger, you'll have no idea what they're saying. See, my ears, when he says, no, not that nation, no, not that nation, no, not that nation, it's another nation. You know what I heard? Nation of Islam. Again, he knows we're a nation. We think that we think that we're just some little group, some little organization. He knows that the planet belongs to us. He knows that he didn't create it. He is finding out now that we did create it and that there's no end to us and no beginning for us. He knows these things.
So with that said, being that there's no ending or no beginning or ending to us, right? Wouldn't we be the more superior over those who are, created the mother plane and, these supposed angels, right? Wouldn't we be more superior?
Wouldn't we who be more superior?
Humans.
The people on the mother plane are humans. Where are you getting this that I'm saying that they're anything other than a human being?
Well, because I would say they seem, the way you're putting it, and it seems like these human beings are more superior than other human beings.
They're only more superior in the fact that they have been living up to and following their nature, which is Islam. They are more, brother, in anything, there's somebody who is more superior. In the NBA, there's Michael Jordan and there's everybody else. Everybody ain't the same type of basketball player. Everybody's does not have the same skills as a human being. We all have the same potential, but if you're not trained in that potential, we have been trained for over almost 500 years now, brother, in the potential of the Caucasian people. We've been raised on poison food, raised on poison teachings, raised on poison food, water. We have not reached anything near our potential. We believed for the longest time that the Caucasian people were here first. That's poison teaching. Again, that damages your brain power. So no, we're not. They're not better than us in that sense. It's just like the Bible says in the parable of Joseph. The sons of Joseph said, "Father, why are you getting the fatted calf out for him? He's been amongst them other people, tending wood, tending hogs, far away from you and your teachings, Father. We've been here, Father, with you the whole time." And the father said to his other 12 sons, sons, this is your long lost brother who has now come to himself. Get out the fatted calf. Get the signet ring that signifies my rulership. I'm going to put it on him because this is my doing. Yes, he was all those things. He was low. He was made a slave, but that was all for a purpose. Now he's coming home, and now it's time for him to put on the ring of rulership and the crown of rulership, Brother Ron. That's us. Specifically, that is the messenger. So no, they're not better than us. They have a job to do now that they're good at because they've been trained. And now we have a job to do, which is to assume that position of leadership. The messenger teaches us that once this present civilization is destroyed, we will be trained, we who believe in the messenger's teachings, will be trained for 20 years in Egypt how to rule. We haven't even been trained how to rule yet. Can't be done with this man around because he'll get some of that training and then we'll never get rid of him. So it has to be done after he's removed from the planet.
All right, so now we got a question in the chat. It says, when is this all supposed to go down?
I definitely don't have a date. Messenger Elijah Muhammad never gave a specific date of when it was to go down. But I will tell you this, every day that goes by, we are getting closer and closer and closer to it. The Bible talks about war, rumors of war, earthquakes in diverse places. The messenger talks about the confusion of nations. The messenger talks about the fight over the land in the Middle East. All of these things are taking place and fulfilling both Bible and Quranic prophecy. So are we talking about another 400 or 500 years under this with the man? No, we're not talking about that. The messenger said that the time for the Caucasian civilization was up in 19 and 14. That's the time, that was the end of the 6,000 year period of ruling. Well, then the question would be, well, why is he still here? Well, it's a process. What significant event happened in 1914 on the Caucasian calendar? The beginning of World War I, which has not ended. It has continued to this day, and it is getting hotter. That marked the end of his ability to rule ruthlessly. Well, how come he's not gone since his time was up? Well, again, first, the prophecy has to be fulfilled. The 400-year prophecy must be fulfilled. When were we brought into slavery? Not 1619. We were brought in 1555. So 400 years brings us to 1955. Okay, well, why wasn't the Caucasian gone then? Well, again, the messenger teaches us, and he said this in Theology of Time, that depending on how the Caucasian treated us, and when he said us, I personally believe he meant us, the Muslims, but more specifically us, Messenger Elijah Muhammad, that he could be given 60 years of extension of time, not to exceed 70 years extension of time. This is taught by the messenger. 60 years from 1955 brings us to 2015. 70 years extension of time brings us to 2025. What was one of the significant events that reignited this world war? Because it never went, it went cold, because they called it a Cold War. July of 2025 is when Israel was attacked, supposedly, by Iran and Iran-backed rebels. Many people have said that it was Netanyahu who financed and had them attack to start this war. And many people are saying, even amongst the Caucasian intelligentsia, that it is Netanyahu who is directing this war, because many of the Jews and many of the Christians believe that Jesus can't return unless there be a war in the Middle East. And that's why they're talking about, what are they saying that Pete Hegseth is a member of? Pete Hegseth is a member of some...
Oh, the Proud Boys? I don't know.
No, not the Proud Boys. It's some quasi-Catholic religious order that believes that really preaches Armageddon.
I think I know you're talking about.
I can't think of the name of it right now.
The Proud Boys was like a skinhead group, right? Like close to that.
Yeah, Proud Boys was more of a quasi-skinhead group. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Pete Hegseth was this is more of a religious group that he's supposedly a member of, according to a lot of these pundits.
Someone in the chat said Knights Templar, but
that's close. It's Knights something.
Can't be Knights Templar.
It's Knights something. I can't think of the name of it. But yeah, they are trying to, because they say they believe they're not going to see Jesus. But see, a lot of what these fundamental Christians don't understand is that the Jesus that they're going to see is not going to be for them. The Jesus that they are going to see is going to be for us, the black man and woman in America and all over the earth. He's not going to be for the Egyptians, and he's not going to be for Pharaoh.
Now, let me ask you this before we close out. So did the messenger explain the mother plane is like the speed and how it moves and how its weapons work?
Yes, he said that the tactical speed of the mother plane and the baby planes is 9,000 miles per hour. He said that the plane is circular, meaning, and the reason why it's circular is it can turn in any direction at any point. The fastest plane that the Caucasian Army or military has in its arsenal was the SR-71 Blackbird, and it could go Mach 6, which is like 3,450 miles per hour. To make a 90-degree turn, it takes that plane 900 miles, almost 1,000 miles to make a 90-degree turn when it's going at top speed. The messenger said that the mother plane and the baby planes can turn instantaneously. And this documentary, Age of Disclosure, the pilots that have seen it in action and the planes in action have documented that these things just shoot out of action. That just shoot out of nowhere. Once they're here and all of a sudden, bam, they're gone. And the messenger said that they make absolutely no noise. There's no contrail, there's no exhaust. So again, I can't find anywhere where he said what the propulsion system was or what the fuel of the propulsion was. But if you know anything about the orbit of planets and about concentric circles and orbits, have you ever seen that thing? That where they hold it and there's all these concentric circles that are spinning at the same time. What is that called? Oh God.
I know what you're talking about.
I just forgot the name of it. He said, my understanding and my belief is that these planes operate very similar to that, where they are, the messenger said they are wheels within inside of wheels. And that's what the universe is. The universe is wheels inside of wheels. Not only is the earth spinning, but the earth is traveling. And not only is the earth traveling, but it's being pulled by the sun. And the sun is also traveling. Okay, what's pulling the earth? What's pulling the sun? What's pulling the other galaxies and making them move? I submit to you that it's very similar to how these planes operate. Now, that I'm not getting from the messenger. That was just my speculation.
Okay. And what about the weapons in their capabilities?
Each of the 1,500 bombing planes have 3 tactical weapons, 3 bombs, which are made of the highest grade steel or metal, the messenger teaches us, and they are capable of drilling in to the ground before they explode. This is to increase the yield explosion of their target. So they don't explode when they hit the ground. They bury a half a mile or a mile into the ground. Depending on how far they drill into the ground, when they explode, they will send up a mountain that high, half a mile, mile high, whatever. What these weapons are made of, I couldn't tell you. He just said they're bombs. Ezekiel describes them as fire, which the messenger teaches can also mean bombs. The messenger also mentioned that these mother of planes and the baby planes are also capable of emitting poison gas. And of course, if you don't have, if there's poison gas, that means you can't breathe. So there's no getting away from this destruction that's coming upon America. You can call Messenger Elijah Muhammad crazy. I don't care. Either you believe what he says or you don't. Makes us no difference. We believe it's going to happen whether people believe it or not.
All right. Now, if you can reference some sources for the public so we can go and look. You already referenced one on Message to the Black Man. Can you repeat that one?
Yeah, definitely Message to the Black Man. Then we have the compilation book, The Mother Plane, which compiles several articles that the messenger wrote in the Muhammad Speaks. And this is published by Secretarius Memphis, Minister Nasir Hakim. You can get that off of Amazon. Another place where I know the messenger went into the Mother Plane, I can't remember which day it was during the Theology of Time. He actually had the brother go up to the board, and at that time it was a chalkboard, and he actually drew out the Mother Plane. And it was a drawing very similar to this right here, what he drew out during that day on the Theology of Time. And the messenger was telling him, okay, now have the plane shoot out of there. And you can hear the messenger telling him how to draw it while during the Theology of Time. If we stick to the messenger, brother, it will be much clearer. When you hear all the noise of this disinformation campaign by the government and this disinformation campaign by so-called students of the messenger, talking about they've been beamed up to the plane. The messenger never talked. They're going to beam you up to the plane, but the messenger never said he was beamed up to the plane. We weren't guided by beams and guided by and guided by visions. God came himself to raise a messenger, then taught him face to face for 3.5 years. What need is there for a Star Trek beaming up of some other guy? It just doesn't make any sense. And all it does is make people doubt and disbelieve, doing the people a disservice. That's why I wanted to address this at this time, especially since I know the government is going to ramp up its disinformation campaign, which people think is an information campaign, and it's not. It's going to be more disinformation with some truth mixed in. A good lie is not 100% lie. A good lie always has truth mixed in it. But you need the messenger to decode what the lie is and what the truth is.
Okay. On that note, let them know where they can find you and anything you got going on. I know you got products and things like that.
Yeah, you can give me a call anytime. Area code 218-673-1517. We got an all-natural body activation technology patch that reactivates the body's own internal healing system across all social medias. I'm Kevin Ali. Kevin Ali on Facebook, social media. We don't run, we don't hide from anybody. We're willing to have a righteous discussion with anyone, including any of the representatives of these other leaders who want to put forth that their leader is something special and the messenger made them something special. Okay, well then let's talk about it, but let's use the messenger and what he teaches as the criterion by which to judge. So we don't run from anybody, and we definitely, brother Ron, appreciate you having us on to share with you what we've learned from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Indeed. On that note, thank you for coming out this evening. Really appreciate you. Thanks to the chat. Brother Les Shop 2205, man. I really appreciate you, man. You hit us off today. I really appreciate you. I'm humble. Thank you. Peace to everybody. Salute. Peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.